Morning everybody, how you doing? Hope you're all okay. Well, firstly I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching my videos and support me over the last couple of years, and for those that have subscribed to the channel. I can't tell you how much that means to me. I think I'm at 161 subscribers now, which is awesome. So, thanks for those that watch my videos and that leave a comment. It's really encouraging and supportive that you take the time to do that and you take time to watch my videos. So with that said, in the 70s there was an entertainer called Max Bygraves, and his sort of famous catchphrase was, "I want to tell you a story." And then he'd kind of proceed to tell some kind of comedy story about anything. And when I took up photography, probably coming up about 3 years now, a lot of the videos, people were saying, when you take a photograph, you want to try and tell a story. And that's kind of got me thinking about photographs and storytelling. And today's video, I'm going to sort of flick through a few of my photos and see which ones I think have a story and which ones are just nice photos to look at. So with all that said, I'm just going to jump into Lightroom and then I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, so pictures telling a story. Do we go out deliberately to kind of take a picture to try and tell a story? Do we go out just to take a picture? Do we take a picture because it looks nice? Does a picture have to tell a story? I suppose from my thinking, some pictures, or some photos if you like pictures, some photos, they're nice to look at, but the story is behind the photo, not the actual photo itself perhaps. So what I'm trying to say, like this one here. Right, so this one here is obviously a poppy in a poppy field. Now, does this picture tell a story? And I suppose the reality is, well, I don't really see a story in this picture. To me, it's a nice picture of a poppy in a poppy field. But to me, the story lies behind the photo. So I can remember when I took this photo, I was really excited the fact that I found a field with poppies in it for a start. And the other thing that I managed to capture this photo, and one of my favourite poppy photos, I really like it. And also I can remember the day, it was a lovely summer's evening. We'd not long kind of got out of lockdown. This is the first lockdown in 2020. And we were all excited to get out and, have a little sense of freedom again. And yeah, so it more kind of evokes a memory than a story, I suppose. I suppose the story comes if someone said to you about, "Oh, that's a nice photo, Trev, where did you take that?" Then you be able to tell the story of how you kind of took that photo. But the actual picture itself, I don't think tells a story. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you a few other photos which to me I think do tell a story. And I suppose it's all kind of a bit subjective really, to me, they're my photos and I know the story behind those photos, but does the photo actually tell a story? So we'll have a little look and let me know what you think. So the first one here is this one. Okay, so we got this picture of a train going under a bridge at a level crossing. So I guess the first question is where is this taken? Well, I obviously know this was taken down Poole High Street. Poole High Street has a level crossing going across it, and to be honest, quite a pain really, because every time you go shopping you always get caught by this level crossing. But, there is a bridge there you can go over, as you can see just here. But I suppose, what's the story behind this picture? Is there a story behind this picture? Well, I guess the story is when it was taken, it was dark, so it was taken either early in the morning or at night. You can see here that there are street lights on. You've got the bank, and there's a shop there, so you can see that it was taken at night. I know it was taken at night, it wasn't taken in the morning. And then you've got the train itself. There's a train going from Poole or to Poole. Well, it's tough to tell looking at this photo initially, but it was actually heading towards Poole. So I'm guessing it's probably come from London, because it goes from Poole to Waterloo in London. And then you kind of think, okay, people kind of like coming back from work, they've had a day out in London, whatever, there's all kinds of things, who was on the train. And if you look a bit closer just here, you can see just around here, there's someone else waiting to cross the level crossing. And that provokes the idea of, who is this person? Where was she going? I think it's a she. Yeah, pretty sure it's a she. What's her life story? Why was she out that time of night? Was she coming back from work? Had she been shopping? We'll never know. So that kind of, this picture, I guess, does tell a story. And I think the thing with photos, the same as when you look at a painting, initially you can just look at the photo, oh, that's a train going under the bridge, and that's it. But sometimes you have to look a little bit closer. The more you look into something, the more it almost speaks to you. And that sounds a bit weird, I suppose. But it does to me anyhow. I quite often find, if I'm in an art gallery or looking at photos in books, you look a bit closer and you can see a lot more, even pictures around the house I've printed off. Quite often I'll walk past and I never saw that before. So that's that one. The next one is this chap here. So, fairly basic shot. Is there a story to be told here? Let me think. Well, firstly, this was taken part of a pano actually, and the pano didn't work. I didn't get enough shots and it didn't stitch together. But after I looked at this picture and I thought, I suppose the story is first of all, where is it? It could be anywhere. It could be Yorkshire, it could be Lake District, Scotland, Wales, who knows, it could be anywhere. And then the other bit is, who's this chap? What's his story? Is he on holiday? Is he just out for the day? We'll never know. He's obviously hiking off somewhere, he's got a rucksack on his back. So it conjures up all kinds of things, It's obviously quite a barren place. There's not a lot going on there. You can see the kind of scrubland in the background with the heather and the bracken. It's not a particularly nice day. You can see that it's quite a gloomy picture. But then it's quite a warm day because he's got shorts on. We obviously know where this picture was taken. This was taken in the Yorkshire Moors. I did a video for this. If you want to kind of scroll down the playlist, then you'll be able to see that. So this, I think, tells a story. It's quite a simple shot, just the hills and the chap. And like I say, the more you look into it, the more you can read into it, I guess. Another one. This one here. Now this one was taken at Holywell Bay in Cornwall. And at first glance you think, well, is there a story to be told here? I mean, it's a beach with a cliff face and some driftwood on the beach. So at first glance there's not a lot really going on. But then the more you look into it, you can see, well, okay, it was one of those days where it was cloudy but sunny, because you can see the moody cloud in the distance. And on the cliff face you can see it's quite bright, so obviously the sun's shining on that. If you look at the waves, you can see that it's they're quite big waves, so it's obviously quite a windy day. And then you've got the driftwood. So to me, the story is all about the driftwood, really. Because you ask yourself, okay, it's just a piece of driftwood. What's the big deal, Trev? Well, the question I ask myself is, where did it come from? Did it come from a couple of miles up the road, just from a river, or fallen into the sea and just got swept up onto the sea there? But Holywell Bay is part of Cornwall, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean, which obviously connects to the other side of the pond, America or Canada. So you think, could this be a branch that's come off a tree from Canada? We're never going to know, I suppose, unless you're a biologist? Not biologist, what are they called? Botanist. And you know all your trees, then we're never going to know. So you kind of think, okay, if it came from the other side of the pond, Canada or America, how long was it bobbing around out in the sea? And to eventually get swept up onto this Cornish coast. And then you kind of think, okay, what tree did it come from? How old was that tree? And all kinds. So to me, the story is the piece of driftwood. So the final one is this one. This is quite a recent one. Again, you can see in the video, this is quite a recent one. It's my Sandbanks video. It's a bit very windy. So again, you look at it and you think, well, okay, Trev, there's not a lot going on. But I've printed this one off, the same as I have the other ones. And I always think if you print something off, you kind of look more closely at it. And that's when quite often what looks like a normal photograph comes to life. You know, you can start seeing more in the picture, little things that you probably wouldn't just see if you see it on the screen. So you think, well, okay, Trevor, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but what's going on in this picture? Well, again, you have to look a bit closer. So let's just zoom in over here. So if you look closely over here, you can see there's a guy, I think they call it kite surfing. So again, it tells you it's a windy day, which it was, and this guy's having a good time kite surfing around Sandbanks, and no idea who he is, no idea where he comes from, whether he's a local or a visitor, we'll never know, but he's having a good time. And then if you look just over here, in the distance you got a battleship. You kind of think, okay, why is there a battleship in the middle of Sandbanks Bay? Well, I can remember when this picture was taken, there was a little bit of trouble going on over in Jersey with the fishermen, and I think a couple of the Navy ships got sent out over there. I'm not saying that's why there. We do have a lot of kind of military exercises around this area with the Marines and all that kind of thing, so maybe it's part of that. And then you got this chap here. Okay, no idea who he is. But he's obviously, I think this seems to be a new thing. I've not seen this before. It's like a surfboard, but it's got like a, I don't know what you call it, like a fin on the bottom. And then it's got this inflatable wing. And I suppose the idea is you're almost like flying across the sea. I mean, to be honest, it looks like quite hard work getting up and going, but obviously, you know, once you've got the hang of it, it's like anything, it's probably quite simple. But again, don't know who this chap is, you know, he could be here on holiday, he could just be a local having a good time. But again, making the most of the weather. And then you obviously got the lifeguard thing here. This tells you that it's not a particularly nice day. It's very, as I say, you can see from the video, very windy. And, you know, the beach was pretty empty and there's no lifeguard in there. But this time of year now, what we're in June, and the weather's been really nice, this place would be packed and there'd be a lifeguard there. So, you know, what I'm trying to say is when you look more into a photo, you know, quite often it does tell a story. So I suppose in conclusion, do all photos tell stories? Well, in my opinion, no, they don't. You know, I think there are some photos that are just nice to look at. The story might be behind the photo that you took, or the person took. But then some photos do, I think, tell a story. Do I, when I go out, intentionally go out to try and take a photo that's going to tell a story? To be honest, no, I don't. I go out and I look for something that's interesting to take a photograph, and I take the photo. And it's not till probably afterwards, say when I look at it, maybe print it off and look in a bit more detail, I never saw that when I took the photo. I never, wasn't thinking about that, but the more you look into it, you kind of brings the picture alive. So I'd be interested to know what you think. Do you go out to deliberately take a photo to tell a story? Do you just go out to take a photo because it looks good or interests you? Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm always interested to hear from you, to know what you've thought of the video or the pictures or whatever. Interesting conversation, I guess, but so I just wanted to kind of bring that to you, just kind of like, because I've just been thinking about it quite a lot, about telling a story, and I guess I'm going to leave it there. There's not much more I can say about that. I hope you enjoyed looking through some of the photos, and hope you could see the story behind the photo as well, and also the memory that's invoked in some of these pictures. So with that, I'm going to say, hopefully next time I'll be back out in the field, capturing some more of the Dorset life, whether it's countryside, seascapes, whatever. And so I'm going to say thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care of yourselves, I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.